What's up guys, Ghost here, and today I have another Starcraft 2 strategy for you guys. Last time around we looked at the basic Terran opener, and now we're going to expand upon that a little bit and take a look at the 1-1-1 build, which essentially stands for 1 barracks, 1 factory and 1 starport. Now this build order has a multitude of variations and different builds that you can continue on and sort of evolve from that build, but this is just going to be the basic one that I'm going to show you, and it's really going to continue right off from where we made our last build. So if you guys want to go back and watch the basic Terran opener, feel free to do so. I'm not going to explain that fully, but it's pretty basic. You get, as you can see here, your supply depot on 10, you're going to be getting your barracks on 12, refinery at 13, etc. And this is in the TVT here, so the 1-1-1 build is definitely, I would say, a staple of TVT. It works in other matchups as well, so TVP and TVZ, you can definitely do 1-1-1 and go for certain builds, but I would definitely say it's probably the most popular in TVT. So here we go, as I said, throwing down the barracks at 12. We're going to continue to pump SCVs, of course, and as soon as I hit 75 minerals here, I'm going to be throwing down my refinery. And don't worry if you fall behind, I'll put all the exact build order down in the video description so you guys can use that as a reference. So going down with the refinery, and really what you're looking to do once you have your orbital up is throw down your factory as soon as you have 100 gas and as soon as you have 150 minerals. Now, as you can see here, my opponent has decided to sort of annoy me a bit here with his SCV, so I had to pull, you know, well, really a couple of SCVs in order to deal with that. And, you know, every game isn't the same. Sometimes you are going to have to pull SCVs to deal with enemy workers. You're not always going to be able to just mine the exact same way. But nevertheless, you should always aim to be getting down this factory ASAP. So here we go, orbital on the way right here. I always throw down a second supply depot there, so I will build my orbital on 15, around 15, 16, get my orbital, pump out my first marine, and then get a supply depot. I usually get around 2 marines. I find that's a good number for me, and you can see right now I just hit 100 gas, and there we go, 150 minerals. I get down that factory. Now, as I say, you know, some people might want to keep on pumping marines. I had to cut marine production for a little while there in order to get out this factory. Never cut your SCV production, however, that is not something you want to do unless you're going to go for some sort of all-in or, you know, one base all-in. I wouldn't really recommend that. If you're going to be doing a macro game, keep your SCV production going, but still try and get your factory as early as possible. Now, you can see here, as soon as I got the factory down, I started my second refinery, because the next part of the build is going to be adding on a starport, and you know, once this factory is up, you're going to be producing units that take gas, and you're going to be throwing down a starport which also takes gas, and that also produces units which cost gas. So you're going to need a lot of gas, short story. Now here I started to throw down a tech lab, so at this point your build really starts to become your own. I could have kept on just pumping marines out of here. I decided to throw down a tech lab because I wanted to get early combat shields out for this particular TVT. I throw down a separate tech lab on the factory here, and then I go on pretty soon. You see I've got 100 gas here. I'm going to be throwing down my starport. So there you go. That is really the build in a nutshell. And now if we talk a little bit about things that I could have done differently, there are, as I mentioned before, like a multitude of different builds. So I could have thrown down a tech lab here early on the barracks, and I could have built my factory here, and then I could have switched them and gotten out super early tanks, and I could have either done a tank push with a handful of marines, or I could have used the tanks to defend and gone for an expansion here. Or I could get on my starport here, swap the starport with the factory, and use this tech lab on the starport to get out fast banshees. So there really are lots of different things. In this particular game, I actually decided to go for some early marine tank pressure with a dropship or two. So I'm not going to be getting any add-on for the starport. I just get out a couple of dropships at the start, get out some combat shield here for my marines, and start pumping out a tank pretty soon. You can see here I am actually saving up for an expansion, So once again, you know, this build is your own. You could be choosing right now to get a tank out nice and early, go and do some heavy pressure, but this pressure by me was really intended just to allow me to get my expansion down here, try and put a little bit of pressure on the enemy so he won't be putting pressure on me. Anyway guys, that is about it for the build. I'm not going to show you the rest of this game. It wasn't particularly amazing, but the start and the opening of it just illustrates one way that you can use the 1-1 build. And like I said, there are so many different builds that you can do off of this. It's used in every matchup, and I really just consider it part of the integral build system for a Terran player, so it's definitely necessary that you know this build. Anyway guys, if there is some other build that you would like to see from me, then definitely let me know in the comments down below. You can certainly request something, and if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. I would be really appreciative of that. And that's all from me. See you next time. Bye bye.